Common Sense Radio.
Yes, 7:51, everybody. You want to hear the thing we call the news wine? NBC News. It's called a news wine when the reporter seems to be whining. You can tell in their voice how they feel about a certain story. This is on the whole China deal with
For his part, Mr. Trump has been unapologetic, tweeting, "Did China ask us if it was okay to devalue their currency?" And as a candidate, he frequently took aim.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country.
Today, China firing back. The state-run newspaper writing, "Creating troubles for the China-U.S. relationship is creating troubles for the U.S. itself. China policy experts say this is a shakeup."
Yeah, so basically, she's taking China's point of view on this. You can tell by the tone of her voice. And it's weird how the news media is so covetous and protective of China. Isn't that interesting? You call Taiwan, what's wrong with you? It's like, well, wait a minute. I think, didn't President Obama talk to Iran and Cuba? Yeah, but whatever. Just ignore that story. Dr. Tobler's in the house, everybody.
Gentlemen, we're about to enter the fascinating sphere of medicine.
From the cave, filled with water, weaponry, and all kinds of love, Dr. Randy Tobler.
And suddenly the mainstream media is just copying and pasting articles from China Today.
Right, no. And next it'll be Pravda. You know,
yeah,
it's
right.
I can't believe the hypocrisy. It's just the smell, the stench is just numbing.
Oh, I mean it's pretty well on so many different levels.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, talking about the libs now, suddenly they're all into states' rights when it comes to sanctuary city. We need states' rights and marijuana and everything else. And regardless of whether you agree with marijuana laws being less restricted or not, but boy, suddenly they're federalists, man. This is great to see. They've come around.
Yeah, isn't it interesting too? I brought up the same thing when California's like, yeah, we're gonna secede from the union. It's like I think when Rick Perry talked about Texas doing that, he was a racist.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it just extends the wall that Donald has to build. Hey, how about Carly for Secretary of State?
Well, you know what? I know she was
smitten
mentioned
with Carly. I know you are too a bit. We got to find a place for her in the administration. Huh?
Well, I thought at one point, because it was kind of in the grapevine, Dr. Tobler, that she was going to be head of the GOP, which I think would be a good move for her too.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. Absolutely. I just don't know whether she'd be. Well, heck, now that Reince has come around, to realize that the rebellion within the GOP is real and you better listen to it, maybe he could send those signals down the flagpole and make sure that someone like a Carly gets in. But you're right. I mean, I think she has so many talents, and when it comes to Secretary of State, she certainly has a lot of get along with with foreign leaders and foreign governments, and certainly knows a lot about them through her HP experience. So.
Well, that's
true.
true.
Horse. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That would be. I mean, I guess it would be no odder fit than Mitt Romney. I don't believe that at this point, since they haven't decided on him at this point, I don't believe he's going to be the guy. So.
Yeah, I think since they're opening it back up, you got to wonder something's going on. Who's your number one pick? I mean, if you were king, who would you pick?
Bolton.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I interviewed General Anthony Tata, who worked with Mattis, I guess, and has had experience with a lot of the guys that obviously Brigadier General Tata. He's now a novelist on Saturday, and he says Bolton's too much of a neocon. He's not a Bolton guy.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that accusation, but Bolton, when he was asked about that directly, he said, he goes, I would not describe myself as a neocon, and I would go with whatever policy is dictated by the president. It's not the Secretary of State that formulates policy anyway, and I think Bolton is actually more of a practitioner, more of a technician when it comes to foreign policy, and that's what I like about him. Is that I think he's got the respect of the world thanks to his UN deal. So I don't know. I mean, I think
agree with you. No,
yeah.
He's my number one pick. He certainly is analytic. He's got to have some Vulcan in his blood. I mean, he's logical. He's analytic. he also is doggedly, this is right, this is wrong, the good guy, bad guy. There's no blurring lines there. And like you say, he has that experience diplomatically. So he's my first choice still. Let's send a telegram. Let's send a telegram to Donald. There's
never been a Secretary of State that I can remember in history, and I don't think anybody can name one that started a war. So I don't believe. I've heard the accusation, but you're right. All right, Dr. Tobler, sorry for the abbreviated time, but I hope your holidays are going great, and we'll be tuning in.
They are.
6 a.m. on Saturday, my friend.
All time with you is good time, my friend.
All right, brother. Good talking to you.